Hi guys, welcome to another tactical video. This is for the Adept of Sororitas, or Sisters of Battle if you prefer. And basically what this one's going to be about is the Warlord traits that are in the Codex. Now, I'm going to preface this video by basically saying the Warlord traits will not get used much. Reason being is because we only have one actual independent character, special character, whatever, that can actually roll on this Warlord Traits table. Because we've got the two special characters that are named, Celestine and Jacobus, both of the Warlord Traits are taken, and I'm going to cover them first, so let's do that. So Celestine basically gets one called the Beacon of Faith, which is number 5. What this does is, all friendly models within 12 inches of her get to use her leadership when taking Act of Faith or War Hymns test, unless their own is higher. So that's actually really nice, because of course you've got much higher chance of passing. I've said it before in a Celestine video, basically the restrictions on this are the fact that she is moving 12 inches and she wants to be up front and blah blah blah, and your troops may be behind, so she may not actually be able to buff them at the right time, and you don't really want to move her out of the way just to position her for that. So it's a nice little bonus, but it's nothing too particularly amazing. It's very similar to ones in the book, which are actually better, because it's like all friendly models within 12 inches use the Warlord's leadership for everything. So as you can imagine, that is a lot better, because they're using it for morale tests and all that kind of thing as well, compared to just Act of Faith War Hymns. So it's not as good as some of the things that have come since, really, but at least it's a sure thing. You're getting it. Jacobus is probably the best one in this. It's called Indomitable Belief. Basically, he and all models in the unit have the Shield of Faith special rule. Basically, have a 5-up invulnerable save instead of the 6-up invulnerable save. So basically, it's +1 to the Shield of Faith saves, and you can get a lot of benefits from that if you build it right, obviously. So Jacobus is really good because you're getting the best one. It basically makes them twice as powerful and protected. It's really useful in Repentia, for example. Pardon me. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits to that. So of course you could roll those results with a Canonist, but the only way to get any of the others is to get the Canonist. So if you're taking a Canonist, you can roll on here. So the first one is Executioner of Heretics, and basically this means that the Warlord has the Fear special rule. Fear is a rule that most people do not use, and the reason being is it's very forgettable. It can be good once you get into combat because it lowers their weapon skill to weapon skill 1, which means you'd be hitting on freeze, and in the right kind of situation, which wouldn't be here, but if your weapon skill was high enough, then they'd be rolling on 5s to hit. Chances are they'll be rolling 4s to hit you anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the problem is, of course, there's so much fearless out there. There's so much immune to fear. If you play any kind of Space Marine that isn't Chaos, you're going to be immune to fear, and chances are they'd be fearless anyway. Yeah, it's so situational that this is basically the worst one you can get. So yeah, it's pretty pointless. I mean, if you get it, remember to use it, because against certain armies it's going to help. Things like Eldar, that kind of thing, it was going to help against them a lot. So yeah, bear that in mind. Okay, so the next one is of course Indomitable Belief, which I've already covered. That's the 5-up invulnerable save one. If you get that, it's good. Chances are you wouldn't know you get that, so it'd be hard to build a unit to make the most use of it, but if you get it, it's a nice bonus. Okay, so next one is number 3, Pure of Will. The Warlord's unit re-rolls unsuccessful Deny the Witch rolls. Okay, this is actually pretty good combined with Adamantium Will, because of course you are denying on 5-up instead anyway. If you have any other benefits nearby, like allied librarians with psychic hoods, that kind of thing, maybe there's a psyker in the unit, that's actually pretty good. So yeah, combined with that, you could basically become almost immune to psychic powers being cast on you. Now, the problem is is that, you know, the psychic phase compared to things like Warhammer Fantasy Magic phase, the psychic phase doesn't really have that much of an impact on the game as a whole, unless they have gone crazy psychic, okay? And even then, the worst psychic powers you will face are the ones that you're denying on a 6-up because you're not getting those benefits. Basically ones that are blessings and, you know, things that buff themselves, that kind of thing. Stuff that you can't really stop because they're not targeting you. You can still try to stop them, and of course it says the Warlord's unit re-rolls on successful denied witch rolls. The problem is, of course, with the way the psychic phase works, is that will only work if they are targeted by a psychic power. So while it's very good for stopping those incredibly hard, powerful, nasty psychic powers, which are quite rare, to be honest, but they do exist, you know, then it's alright there. But if you're just trying to stop a buff thing, it's not going to help much, and the buff things are generally the worst, like invisibility and that kind of thing. So yeah, the problem with this, of course, the main problem with this is you don't know if the opponent's army is going to have these incredibly powerful kind of things at what point where it will actually matter, that target you. You don't know if he's going to target that unit, and you also don't know if you're going to get this Warlord trait, because it's obviously a 1 in 6 chance. If you did get all those things, then if the opponent was smart, he just wouldn't target that unit, he'd target a completely different unit, and then, you know, doesn't help anyway. So, yeah, very, very situational, and, you know, if you get it, there's worse things, but, you know, a lot of the time it's not going to help much. Okay, so next one's 4. The Warlord has the Righteous... the Warlord has the Rage special rule. This is called Righteous Rage. This can be good if you have stacked for attacks. So if you've taken the a pistol and, like, say, a power sword or something like that, a power axe, you know, on the charge you're actually getting quite a lot of attacks then. So that can be quite nice. With Hatred you can re-roll them all. So if you're basically building for a number of attacks, maybe you've got the banner in the unit as well, you could get 7 attacks on a charge now, with a counter, so that's actually pretty nice. Could be good. Again, you can't really build for it, but, you know, if you get it, there's worse things to get. It's a little weak because it's just basically an extra attack on the turn you charge. But yeah, there's worse things. Next is Beacon of Faith, which we've already covered. That's Celestine, so you get to use the Warlord's leadership. Again, that's useful. That's actually one of the more useful ones here, because it benefits your entire army instead of the single model in a particular situation. Finally is number 6, Inspiring Orator. Basically, all friendly models within 12 inches of the Warlord have the Stubborn special rule. Now, I don't need to tell you that Jacobus already has a 12-inch Fearless bubble, which is much better than Stubborn. Stubborn will only really help you in close combat, and only if you lose, and only if you don't have any priests still that make them fearless. And there's so many, you know, so many things here that just basically mean that Stubborn is pointless in the Sisters of Battle army. You know, some of these Warlord traits are really, really lackluster. And to be fair, this codex came out at a time when, in the 6th edition rulebook, the Warlord traits there were very, very minor. There was like 1 or 2 which were actually fairly decent, and basically all the other Warlord traits in the codices were much, much more powerful. That changed in 7th edition. The Warlord traits in the rulebooks are much more powerful, like crazy powerful now compared to these. So other than special characters where you're forced to take ones of the codex, other than Indomitable Belief, which is the 5-up and vulnerable save in the right situations, which you can't bank on unless you take Uriah, I would really recommend you basically go in the rulebook for these, because these are kind of limited. But, you know, if for some reason you have to go on here, if you get a buff one, which is like a 12-inch bubble, you know, you could do worse. At least it helps the army, and I think those are the best kind of ones, personally. The Rage one can work if you've built it right, but again, it ensures you build it right. At least you get an extra attack, if nothing else. The Deny a Witch roll is very situational if it will ever be useful, and of course the Fear one is basically garbage. There's nothing you can say to redeem that. It's just, you know, it's Fear. If you get it, try and remember you've got it, but you know, it's really not going to affect stuff very much. So that is basically it. So hopefully I've not waffled on too much about these. If you like this video, then remember to click like. I will have more tactical videos coming out soon. We're getting through the Sisters Codex pretty quick now. Only a couple of units left really. So yep, stay tuned and thanks for watching.